Sam Husseini from the ADC, the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. Sort of following up on the Scheinbaum question, there's another case of Alex Odeh, who was murdered in California. He was the West Coast director of the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. And the two suspects in this case are apparently in either Israel or settlements of Israel in Kiryat Arba. And this was in 1985. The FBI has posted a $1 million reward in this case. Will the government of Israel begin cooperating to seek justice in this case? If I might also, in vis-a-vis the Holocaust matter, the Holocaust Museum, Yasser Arafat has said that he's eager to go to the Holocaust Museum. Isn't it time that you recognize the unique pain of the Palestinian people as well? Why not acknowledge, as we approach 50 years of Israel, that pro-Israeli forces drove out Palestinians from their homes in 1948? Thank you.
I am not familiar with extradition requests concerning the murder of Alex Odeh, but I'm sure if those would be brought before me, I would look into them. Again, we have a problem for lack of an instrument, of a legal instrument. But our policy is to apprehend murderers. And we don't need, I don't mean that we only act on the murderers of Arab Americans. We apprehend murderers of Israeli Arabs or Palestinian Arabs. We act on it. As far as I remember, though, the Manning couple wanted for the murder were extradited. Am I right, Lenny? Is that right? Yeah. Yes, I'm trying to recall what it is that you're talking about.
Right. There was a Manning couple, and one of them was extradited on another murder that they were involved with. One of them was mysteriously killed just as they were coming to the United States under rather mysterious circumstances. But there are still two individuals.
She died of cancer, I'm told. So that's died. It's not the same as killed, but go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. Died under mysterious circumstances. I said under mysterious circumstances. It wasn't clear. But Keith Fuchs and Andy Green are apparently still in Kiryat Arba. And what we've been told, since we're the organization involved in this, is that the Justice Department has not received full cooperation at all from the Israeli government on this matter.
I assure you that our policy is to cooperate fully with the murderers. We don't make a distinction, sir, between the murderers of Arabs or Jews, and innocent blood is innocent blood. That is our policy, and will continue to be. You asked another question. Oh, 1948. Yes. Well, you asked in the context of the Holocaust. First of all, let me acknowledge that the Palestinian people have suffered and are suffering. And I think that one of the things that we can try to do is to try to alleviate that suffering by having a solution that would give them the ability to lead their lives and to form their destiny alongside our ability to maintain our lives and protect our future. I think that the great tragedy of the Palestinians has been that from the 1920s, their politics have often been commandeered by radical leaderships that have sought to eliminate the Jewish presence in the land and have brought them a succession of disasters. That policy was enshrined, in fact, in the PLO charter that we seek to see its removal. And I think that unless there is a full-fledged accommodation with the Jewish people, that radical strain in Palestinian politics will not disappear and, in fact, will predominate. Again, here I think there has to be unequivocal statements, which is why we want that charter revised, not in a letter of to President Clinton or to Prime Minister Blair by Yasser Arafat, but in an act, a constitutional act, where the official bodies of the Palestinian leadership and the Palestinian people meet and tear up that paper. I think it would have an immense effect on the feeling in Israel that as we make the decisions to accommodate this peace between us and the Palestinians, that strain of radicalism, an escapism from the reality that we live in this land as well, that has finally been buried with. For so much of our common history, in the last 20 years, and especially in the last period from Oslo, there has been at once a saying on the part of the Palestinian leadership that they accept the state of Israel, and yet at the same time, a continual reference to this charter, to the phased plan of destroying Israel, saying we talk about reconciliation, but we don't really mean it. So I think that the first thing to do is to accept the fact that we're here, that they're here, and I've done that in our acceptance of Oslo, in our willingness to negotiate a final settlement of peace. As far as the comparisons to the Holocaust, this is one of the most painful things for, not only for Holocaust survivors, but for Israelis. Often our policies are compared to Nazi policies. Well, let me respond to this. I think it's important. People ask, well, what should be the Palestinian policy? Number one is stop the false symmetries to Nazism. Whatever the slings and sorrows of the Israeli military administration, which has now ended, of Palestinian territories, it cannot be compared to throwing into ovens 6 million innocent people and 1 million babies included in them. There simply cannot be this degradation of language or the memory of victims to create this false symmetry. And under any measure of comparative military governments in this century, a military government that has ended in the territories, Israel's must be ranked as among the most benign. The Palestinians have their own problems in securing human rights and freedom. But I believe that that should include the respect of the Holocaust and the ceasing of degrading its memory. We constantly find references, anti-Semitic references in official Palestinian media, including these false references to the Holocaust, that I think should be done away with. If Mr. Arafat wants to turn a new leaf, I think that the best thing that he can do is to stop this stream of anti-Semitic propaganda. That would resonate very powerfully with the people of Israel and the Jewish people worldwide.
The next question, the gentleman standing on the wall, next to the wall.